try. I'm clicking it.
Okay.
We've got that. Go live. So we should be live, but it says waiting there.
Waiting.
It says waiting. Maybe I need to go over to here.
Actually, something in YouTube.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Andy said that's all you had to press. We have people. Oh, maybe it is working. Hey, we are live.
You're live.
We're live, and that
Hey.
needs to go back there.
There.
And we are live. We are live. Yes. Hey, I got it to work.
Look at that.
Woo! Woo! Check that out. So if I make that there, here we go. We are a professional bunch of people. Hooray! Hello.
Vanished.
Hello.
Don't swear you are live on ITV.
Yes. Oh, there are some people here. Excellent. So, hello. Welcome to the unnamed Annie and John show of episode 1 and one of only probably. I've had to learn how to do this for the episode, which is why it's nice and extra extra unprofessional. But Andy has just given me a crash course in how to use the software over the last 2 hours. And at one point, I spilled my coffee all over myself and generally raged at all the software. But it appears that we've got it all working. So hello, let us know if there's anything wrong or weird as it goes on. Actually, it's all going to be a bit wrong and weird, but a bit more than usual. And yet you're all here. You can hear us. This is John. Woo!
Hello.
This is John Hodgson.
I am not coping at all with the delay between real life, what I can see on one computer, and what I can see on YouTube.
Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
Beyond understanding. It's way too much. I was like, why am I looking down? And I realized I was looking at YouTube, which is like down in my eye line. It's like, oh, you idiot. Anyway, sorry. Should I try to be more formal?
I'll tell you when there's things on the screen, but it's okay. We're figuring it out. Got a bunch of people in here. We've got no plan. John's got a bunch of skulls.
Look at all that. They're all here. Look. That's not even all of them, terrifyingly.
So the gang is indeed all here. If I move that, one of my favourite videos is where I say something like, "I wonder if I just click and then it ends." So hopefully I won't do that again. So now that I've figured out that I can do a little slideshow thingy, I have got a bunch of. They're not in any particular order because I was stressing and rushing to get them together, but I do have a slideshow of some of the John images here. So we'll go through some of them just to have a little look as a beginner to get us eased in. Questions are welcome to either of us. The Kickstarter is live, but not for much longer. It'll be out. Is it 5 o'clock tomorrow?
Yeah, 5 o'clock tomorrow. That's it. That's your lot.
Less than 24 hours.
All the prices going right up for the minute that shuts. Don't tell them.
There is no pledge manager. I think is a very important thing before we get rambling. There's no pledge manager. Well, effectively. There is, but there isn't it? It's through Kickstarter is the bit where you let us know your address and stuff. But there's no add-on after the campaign has ended. It's literally just we get your address, as far as I know. Yes?
Yeah, that's it, pretty much.
So there's we'll add this afterwards sort of thing. You have to make sure that your pledge reflects what you want before 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, because then it ends and we keep our sanity. And it's great. It's really good. 7-day campaign. Nice.
It's been very lovely. Andy has a question there, Mr. Andy 2D6. Your Kickstarter campaign seems to have the momentum of a runaway freight train. Why are you so popular?
God knows.
That's a question to John Hodgson, I believe.
Yeah, I have no idea. What's that all about? It's a mystery to me as much as to anyone else. I think 7-day campaigns, I think, are really, really good for the kind of thing that I like to do anyway, because you can be really energetic through the beginning part and the middle part and the end part, unlike a 4-week campaign where you have 2 weeks of absolute hell in the middle. So we just cut all that out. So we're just 7 days. Also, I mean, I think it's just obviously an absolutely fantastic product of of a very high standard. That's probably why.
What's the
That's the
longest
official
Kickstarter
answer.
campaign you've ever done or been involved
Me,
with? Yeah.
30 days. 30 days
Oh,
is the longest I've ever done, and it's too long. I usually do if we do a big one at Handiwork Games, like say Beowulf, or we do our Ace Day game. I'll do 21 days because there's just a 1 week middle bit, which is very very hard. That's the downside if I do take it all fantastically personally in a good way, in that I want it all to be very much like it's a cliche to talk about community and so on, but it is real. It's like
it's
it is
real.
us on it. It's very direct. We don't employ people who aren't us to do get in the way, if you like. It is us, but that does have the downside that if it goes slow in the middle, I find it absolutely excruciating and I can't cope with it. So I
It
tend
is
to
really
lighten.
stressful, especially when it
Yeah.
starts going down a little bit, and then you're like, everyone hates me, I guess, and they hate everything I do. You're like, no,
Do
just
you
one
look?
person unbacked. That was all.
Do you only look at the? Is it the dashboard on Kickstarter? Because I don't look. I literally have not looked at it. If you've altered your pledge, I have no idea. I don't look at it because
It's very
it's
brave.
really upsetting. Yeah, I don't. I just don't look at it.
So, as
I
a
just look at the.
collaborator, I can't actually
Yeah,
see I can't see
that's good.
anyone's pledges. So I can only see
Good.
comments and all that for I assume for sort of GDPR or something. But
Mm,
yeah, that's good and bad because I go to check because I think at one point I saw it go down a bit and I was like, oh, who is
yeah.
it? Who is it? Like, oh, I can't see.
Which day
Um,
was it? What day were we on now? No, was it Friday or Saturday was the real settling day, and it was just going like that. It was just bouncing up and down, 50 in, 50 out, sort of thing. But I don't. I just don't look. I make a point of not looking at the
so
you know
brave.
the dashboard, so I don't know. No, it's not at all. It's the opposite. It's absolute cowardice. But it's better for me not to know, because
It
when you
is.
start to go, what did I do? What did I do at the time? You can check the timestamp, and you go, what did I do? Everyone hates me now, and it's just ridiculous.
That's it. There's obviously reasons why people unback or change their pledge, and that's all
Yeah,
okay. It's
yeah,
all allowed.
it's fine
But
because
yeah,
because
as
the I was going to say the amazing thing is because it won't be to do with us. Do you know what I mean? You can get so hooked into I'm the main character nonsense, and actually it's probably someone's just spent a bit too much, or they've had some bad news, what have you, and they'll get it later.
but yeah,
Don't
obviously
unpledge though,
as
anyone watching. It's
yeah,
very important
or
to
we'll
not do that.
know and judge you.
Yeah, we'll know. I'll go and look now. I'll put it on the screen. Share screen.
It is though,
First,
like
the
even though you
liars. Yeah.
yeah, even though you know, like what's it? Not consciously. Yeah, you know consciously that that's the case. The bit of your brain
Yeah.
goes because they hate you. It's because you
Yeah.
you said something silly in your update and it was too silly and maybe you shouldn't be silly. But the
Yeah.
campaign is
Yeah.
actually going amazing, so that's also good.
It's been brilliant. Yeah,
Have
and like genuinely thank you to everyone, especially
yes.
people that have turned up for this at very short notice. I mean,
Okay.
that's your friend. What? But yeah, no, it's been really good. It's been lovely, actually, isn't it? It's been really good atmosphere the whole way through. Really nice. So yeah, no, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. It's been great.
So I normally do my Sunday morning stream, which I didn't do this week because I
Mm.
was at Vapnatak in York. So I decided today, you know what, I'll do a stream in the evening. And then I thought, I could get John onto the stream. I went, oh, that would require learning a whole new software. I'm sure that won't be a trouble at all. I'm very impressed. The thing that has got me excited, so I can see this back end of it. I can see the potential for making stuff really fancy. And one of the things I want to do is start showing off people's paint jobs on the Sunday morning coffee and go, "Ooh, we today, like like the kids' TV shows. We go, we've had sent
Oh
in
yeah,
this lovely bit of artwork, and I can do it on there.
gallery.
And
You can have the gallery music and
and
everything.
what I won't need to do anymore is try and show things by holding my phone screen up, going, "Oh, there's kind of it. I can show it. I can show it off now." And I think I've got the hang of it.
I
And it
painted
was.
oh, do I have to cover up the famous brand name of that miniature? I painted that.
Woo! So I'm having a little scroll. I've been sort of slowly scrolling through some of these beautiful backdrops. I could set one as a background. I was quite impressed with that mega
Oh, look at
skill.
that.
And I could even, if I do another one, I could set the background to be its own slideshow. which is pretty wild. So the winter ones are coming up now. So we're having a look through some of these lovely winter. Nice to be able to show them without my figures in the way of them. Although I have lots of those photos as well. This is warming you up for them. I think this ice cave that's on the screen at the moment, I think this is one of my favourites. I like the colours in it. Where do you get your inspiration from, John?
Ooh, it's mostly just the mortgage. No, I'm joking. It's like practice. Do you know what I mean? That's like a muscle. I'm very, very fortunate that I'm able to do this kind of thing full time and have done for like a really long time now. 24 years I've been full time. That's terrifying, isn't it? But
Yeah.
you get into a routine and you get into practice, and I do sensible things like anytime I have an idea, I write it down. I have lists and lists and lists of sort of backdrops and maps and things that I want to make and ideas for games. I've got so many 3/4 finished, unpublished games. I was looking through them this morning going, that's really good. Why have you just abandoned that whole game? I've got this like, it's a brilliant little, well, I say brilliant to me, sort of cottage core game that's really weird. And then I just wandered off. So I have a lot of ideas, and mostly I can just go back to things I've abandoned later. So I just record everything, I think.
How
And
do you do? Have you got
yeah.
like a notebook, bits of paper everywhere, an Alan Partridge voice recorder, an app? Do you have any
Yeah,
sort of?
my monkeys tend to stick to phone. No, I use the notes app on my phone. I wrote most of the Beowulf book on that. I'm always ashamed to admit. But I'd mostly record, and that because that sort of synced to my computer and my iPads as well. My iPad, check me out with
Ooh.
my iPads. But yeah, the house iPad and the office iPad. But yeah, that really helps because I've got it with me, whatever I'm doing, and they're all in the same place, which is really, really good. And I mean, always for painting, certainly talking about backdrops in particular, I have always painted by kind of wrecking perfectly good pieces of white paper, or what have you. And it's very much so I start and
No,
just
I've
see
made you
where it
hang on. Wait, sorry,
goes.
I tried to stealthily move you, and I've just made you big on the screen. Hang on, there we are. Carry on.
Good,
Nothing
dramatic.
happened there. Nothing at all.
Nothing to see here.
Sorry,
I
carry
can't
on.
look. See, I should have put the monitor that I'm watching YouTube should have been up next to the camera, and then I could look at it rather than having to go down here and totally change my eye line, and
So
then
I'll go back
realize
with a
I'm looking
comment.
into the past, and it's
Oh,
really freaking me out.
why am I moving but I'm not
Me.
moving? When
Yeah, that's not me.
a couple of years ago I had this weird migraine for a month. Andy can remember it. And it was very, very odd. But at one point I was just so bored because obviously you can't like
You
do
can't do
anything.
anything,
So I got one of those voice to text apps. And I've still got
right?
the voice files, which are amazing because I was absolutely off my
Wow.
face on various like tramadol and stuff, and I was making just
Amazing.
loads of notes of sculpts that could happen, and that's how we got the giant tardigrades. And I think I came across the because I've got all the text files which aren't as mad, but listening to the voice recording back was quite fun. It's like what?
That's
But
brilliant.
we did get
Years.
some of those things made from that madness.
Yeah, and I think it's useful if you're sort of. I'm always on podcasts talking about how to do creative enterprises, so I always fall into sort of encouraging words for people wanting to make things. But if you can accept a high wastage rate of ideas, you just record everything, and
Yeah,
some of it will be good. And the more you record that you've thought of, it doesn't matter how stupid it is. You have no, because I know no one's going to see it. I have absolutely no qualms about recording anything. And yeah, and then you come back to it later and go, oh, that's really stupid, but it's made me think of this other good thing. Oh, great,
yeah.
it works.
No, that's
Yeah, God,
good.
I remember years. I haven't had migraines in years and years, but early 20s I used to get a lot of migraines. And I did one time I drew all these scissors when I had a migraine, and they don't like work properly. Do you know what I mean? The basic function of that, and they're all sort of backwards, and so it's brilliant. I should dig that. I've got those drawings somewhere. I should
They've
frame them because they're really sort of bad good. Where you're like, wow, your brain was totally broken.
it's all
It's
over
good.
the place.
So
We absolutely.
do
Oh,
you keep ideas? Sorry, I'm going to interview you back now. So do you have loads of idea files and things, or do you have a big wish list of things you want to do, or is it
my
as it comes? Mhm.
My stuff's everywhere. I've got different files on the computer. I've got my weird voice app thingies. I've got bits of paper. I I've tried to keep it. I've got quite a good folder that I use for all my planning and stuff. And there's a really neat
Yeah,
section there for miniatures ideas, but I never have the ideas when I have that because it's that whole
yeah,
forcing things, isn't it? You're like not sat there
yeah,
going, what ideas shall I have? So that's very empty. But then there's just scribbles all over the place, and I'm really bad at keeping track of them. There's various files. I've got different folders on my email for when people make suggestions, so they go into that folder so I don't lose them. But I tend to make lots of notes and then don't go back to them. But I think the act of making the note puts it in your head a bit
yeah,
as well,
yeah. I
hopefully.
think so.
So there's some, and there are some that sort of disappear, and then I'll get the idea again and go, "Oh, that's not the first time that's been an idea." But yeah, there are
Yeah.
little like various size notebooks all over the place, and each time I'll decide, you know what? At one point I decided that A8 notebooks were the way to go,
Oh God,
and they are
that's what
quite,
tiny, tiny.
quite,
Yeah, they're
but they're
really
so
small.
small. But then you just put them in your pocket, and then you've got a little
Hmm.
notebook. But then I put
Yeah,
that somewhere and it's so small. And so I keep finding these notebooks, usually when I go to make notes for like Sunday morning coffee or something. And I'll find something and I'll go, what on earth was that? And it's, yeah, like monkey tennis or whatever. But yeah, so I'm as disorganized as you'd expect, basically.
well,
So
yeah, but it's a way of life, isn't it? Do
it
you know what I mean?
is.
You know?
We've got some of the sci-fi images up here. Can you tell us
Oh
about
yeah, cool.
them
These are yeah, really, really new ones.
and
What are you
your other
seeing
art
right
man?
now? You're gonna have to tell me what you
I'm
can
just
see because I can see into the past.
I'm
Your
skipping them
other art
around
man,
then.
Paul.
Other art
Art
man,
man,
who's
Paul.
he? Tell us about that art man.
Yeah, so Paul Bourne is our graphic designer at Handiwork Games. He does all our layout, and he's a really, really talented like 3D modeler. Not so much sort of figures and things like that, but sort of 2D, for 2D if you like. And yeah, he makes me. This was the solution we hit upon during the first campaign, where we had no intention of making a sci-fi book. Everyone wanted it, so we didn't really have any choice. And yeah, my sort of natural painting style is too rounded really for the to work in the way I would want it to if I wanted to take photos of my sci-fi figures. I've not really got many, but it's not going to work if I just paint them as I naturally would. But of course Paul can produce these incredible images, and if I paint over them and I change them up, it's sort of the starting point. And yeah, they work really well. I think it's got enough of that painterliness to get that thing where it doesn't make your figures look weird like photos do, or if they were just left as 3D renders. You're painting on your figures, and the sculpting on the figures, it gets a bit thrown out, I think, by
Yeah, so you sort of
say, a
soften
photographic.
them a bit.
Yeah, yeah, we can control the tones and everything. That's all. Yeah, that works really well.
So we've got
We've
that
got loads now.
tunnel. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no,
We've got
we're working through them just now. I mean, we're already hard at work to finish off all the books
so
because it'd be
there's
really nice, wouldn't it, if
four
we just get
books
it done.
now.
Yeah, four
Four
new
new
ones. Yeah,
books, but then eight books because they're A3 and A4.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then
I was
there's
having a panic earlier on that there was too many to do because it's like 10 books in total, but in terms of new artwork, it's only four. Only four.
only four books to do.
Only four
And
times 32. About 40, isn't it?
yeah. And so
That's
then
all
we've
good.
got the
Okay, great.
original two books in A4 which
Yeah,
exist and are done, and they're in A3 as well. So you've got
yeah.
10
They're coming in
books,
free.
10 new books that will be appearing. I'll go to the comments because I've missed
Yeah, I'm
some
sure there's
comments
loads in there.
on the old. Andy says, "Will we see any Hodgson backdrop NFTs?" I'm sure he's trolling
Yeah,
there. So yeah, it's some Bored Ape type Hodgsons maybe.
and my apes all gone.
Alex says, "I like you can choose fantasy or sci-fi if you're only into the one genre. Yeah, you're not forced into
Yeah,
getting
because
bits that you're not going to use."
we talked about that in the first campaign. I remember this where we could have expanded it to include sci-fi, but if I could really well, it's the divide in the big games, isn't it? They don't mix really.
Yeah,
So
some of
I
us
think
all
it's
want
nicer to do two.
like
Yeah,
me, I want them all. But yeah, if you're just playing one game or one
yeah,
genre, then that's handy. I like that we're now doing more themed books as well. So like
Yep, yep,
ruins
yep.
and tunnels, skies.
Yeah,
I quite like the idea of having a whole catalogue of them. Have you got
be
any
nice.
thoughts for it for the next books, or are you just focusing on these at the moment? It's like we're not doing any more in the campaign, but for future
There won't
books,
be
is
any more
there
in the
any?
campaign, but yeah, a lot of people are looking for desert, which is good. You know, I would like to do that. That would be cool. Seascapes, definitely. I think
Yeah.
alongside the sky book, sea stuff, and a dedicated sea book. I think it would be a shame to do like 3 seascapes in another book. That would be sort of not great for that other book, and you know, so dedicated seascapes I think would be really nice. And I've got loads of starting points for that in our Beowulf game, which was really nice to paint. See, there's all these like chains of dominoes, talk about things going back, you know, old notebooks and things. It was lovely to do the Beowulf role playing game because I'd been working for years on the One Ring Tolkien role playing game, and we never went to the sea in that, so I never painted any sea. So Beowulf was like sea. I'm doing loads of sea boats on the sea. It was really nice. So yeah, so I've got lots and lots of sea stuff already, sort of in the hopper, if you like. So yeah.
In the hopper.
Yeah, so there's always, I mean, loads and loads of stuff.
I was looking at some of your art earlier, and yeah, I was looking at some of the
Mm.
Beowulf, and obviously some of the art you've done. Well, a lot of your art you've done for other companies, so you can't do anything with
Yeah,
that because that's theirs now.
true.
But there
Yeah,
was quite a few where I was kind of looking at them thinking, oh, if you just got rid of like even some of your Beowulfs, it's like get rid of your people, get them out of the
yeah.
way,
Well,
and
never mind.
then you've
Let's
almost
have
got one sort of ready to go there.
there's a belt. Let's have
Oh,
a look. Oh yeah, look. Well, the
oh,
background of the cover is in. I think that's in book 1. Yeah, there's loads in here that yeah paint out the people. You've got a backdrop, so
yeah.
it's nice. It's nice to get those. I'm not going to find any in time on live, but yeah, there's
Hang
all sorts
on.
in there.
Got just gonna refresh the chat here. I've got all these windows open, but I think I'm nailing it just to not to jinx it in any way. Totally nailing it. I think I missed. What have we got there? Have we missed anyone? Mogsy's there. Oh, Richard's Coulson. I missed that. Hello, Rich. Are the new books themed? Yes. So we've
Yep,
gone. Yeah,
yep.
we've gone through that. So yeah, we're ruins and tunnels, winter. So ruins and tunnels, sci-fi and fantasy in separate books. Winter and skies. We've got some of the skies to show
Skies.
you that I don't
Oh
think
yeah,
have been
yeah, yeah.
shown yet either. As in, like
No, no,
I
these are
hadn't
like
seen them till you sent me
today.
them
These have been
just
yeah.
now. Yeah, you've been furiously drawing skies. Um,
And some of them aren't
we've got.
finished. You'll be delighted to enjoy some unfinished paintings. No,
see
it's
the
quite exciting, isn't it? Yeah.
see the progress. See how it works. Ralph says A3 books of gridded maps next.
No, Loke
No.
battle maps have got that covered. Not going to jump in the arena with
Yeah.
them.
We got
They've nicked all my
yes.
ideas already. No, I'm
What
joking.
Jez says it's been a great week of seeing folks posting mini pics on Instagram of the existing background books. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
didn't even ask. They've just been doing it,
it's
which is
lovely.
really, really good. So I've seen a lot of them because when I was setting the images up for this, I did kind of think, if I'd had time, I could have because it's always showing the stuff we've been doing, but it'd be nice to show a bit more of I would obviously retweet them and things, but to see what other people have been up to with them and all the different minis that they've been using has been really good.
It's really nice to see other people using them because, well, like my collection of miniatures, I was going to say my collection of miniatures is quite small. That's just a
Mine,
lie.
because of
Uh,
my figures.
but it's made up of things like 600 Victrix late Danes or something, you know, and yeah, we want to keep it focused on
Hmm,
our stuff, if you like, as well, just because then we're not treading on anyone else's toes and so on. It's nice. We get a little bit of Fenris games in there, don't we,
yeah,
along the way?
got some barrows
But
and that.
yeah, it's really nice to see other people using it, and I think that's the real proof of the pudding, because you know, you can I can pretend they're good. Do you know what I mean? If they weren't, I could fib about it, but they're not. They are good. They will really work. We've been continually impressed. Where you go,
Yeah,
these are really
they're
good.
actually
You
really
set up a
good.
photo,
Yeah,
yeah. Never mind like how good the paintings are or anything, but just where you sort of you can set up a scene, take the backdrop book out, flip to another page, put it back in, and you go, whoa! It's like totally different.
we're in a
It's really
different
good.
world now.
This is like a good idea by
Yeah.
accident. Actually, do you know what? That's another funny thing about old ideas. I had seen I print various other things with the printer that makes the A4 books, and I'd seen those Wiro bound books, and I thought I'm going to do something with those at one day, and I didn't know what it was, and then it was like, oh yeah, there you go, that's the thing. It's the backdrops, isn't it? Because you don't want to mail out a load of prints or what have you. You could do them loose leaf, but it's not nice, is it?
Well, I've discovered this week
Unsatisfying.
because in the last week because I've been photographing
Yeah.
them on sheets and I've just well not destroyed them, but and I am a bit of an animal at handling things. But I'd noticed,
Yeah.
I think one of the videos where I was showing them off, I was like, how have I somehow like spilt something on this one? All the
Yeah.
edges are already starting to get. And it's like, oh, the book does keep them really together and
Yeah,
protects them
because
by
I've got
being in the
like
book.
I've got loads of printouts, and the A3 ones they're lovely. The A3 ones had made up, but it's all just it just gets tatty and damaged really
Yeah.
easily, and it's so much better in
So
a
yeah,
book
I
because
think
they've
it's
got
a
that nice
really,
little
really
block.
good way, and that they could just fall
Yeah,
all the way back on themselves.
yeah,
A few more
yeah, works well.
questions. There's some Beowulf loving in there. Got some
Oh,
Beowulf
nice,
loving.
good.
Um,
I mean,
Andy two
thank
D
you, not
six.
good.
Yeah, good. It should be.
Yeah,
Andy
good.
two D
Yeah,
six
good.
again. Oh yes, we must give him the credit. It was that Andy that has taught me the ways of this
Oh yeah.
software land, which I'm getting again. He says, if you were stuck on an island with a camera and some miniatures, which two backdrops would you take with you?
It's in a book, so it'd be all of them. Which just the two I like the most. In fact, the one I've got set up back. I'm just jumping in and answering this first. It would
Yeah.
be fantasy ones because that's I like my fantasy type Tolkien, Beowulfy stuff, and I make no apology for that. Right, I've got a book here. I'm not just looking at my lap while I'm thinking. There is that one. I like that one. That's got
Mm.
the like rays of light in it.
Ah.
That works really well, and you can get several different. I was going to say angles. It's not 3D, but you can get different framings on that. Definitely. What other one do I like? Actually, no, this one. That one actually.
Oh, Misty.
I think that might be a Mogsy Makes favorite as well, since I
It's
see you
true. I
using
see.
that quite a
Yeah,
lot.
see that a bit.
Nice. It's all right. That not bad considering them trees are flipped and repainted. Anyway, yeah, no, that's good.
It's just
Profit,
a
John,
stream of
please.
John going, paintings are pretty good.
Yeah, they're right, aren't they?
It is.
It's
It's
like it's.
the
I'm more surprised. I'm more surprised than anyone else. That's all right. I can't help it. I have to do it. So it's nice. It works out. Yeah.
the subject of favourites is quite a good one as well because I think I'd end up chatting to someone in one of the comments on that as well because we were discussing
Mm,
favourites and I've definitely got some favourites. I haven't got them in front of me. With the first one you showed is one of mine. One of mine. I
yeah.
didn't draw it. One of my favourites because I took
Yeah.
my favourite photo so far that's actually in this little
Yes.
slideshow on that, and I had fun taking quite a few with that in the A4 and A3. But going back to the ocean ones, a lot of the cliff ones from the first book I really like.
Yeah. They also fluke their way into working really well. In that, when I was first trying those, I thought, how is the horizon line, and you've got an eye line to the horizon line, including cliffs. That's never going to work. But it
It
did. I don't know.
does.
Obviously, it's like a looser tolerance for the sort of perspective. I think our brains want it to work somehow, so
Yeah,
you get away with a bit more. But
no, it
yeah,
does.
it's brilliant.
What have we got for the
That was I
week?
like that one as well. That's
That one, yes. Yes. Is that the
yeah,
last one? Is that on the last page?
yeah. Last
Yes,
page.
yeah. Yeah, that's one of my favourites.
That's
Another
expanded
one.
out of Hermit Sanctuary book. That one that appears in a smaller version in a different book, and I sort of grew it.
Oh, got a bunch on here. Berlin Tuesday popped in, who I've been using his scenery in quite a lot of the photographs, and
Oh,
he's
cool.
been painting some minis for us. He said, "Beautiful works. Good luck." Woo. Thank you. Because
Thank
yeah,
you.
I've used his rocks quite a lot, and some of the ruiny bits that he's been making as well. I was gonna just sort of slowly rotate through these photos as we're going on. Oh, we're on to winter. I've got a winter one in there.
Oh, nice.
It's one of the new winter trees. Yes, Great Escape Games are here shouting about deserts.
Yeah,
Yes, we had
deserts.
that discussion over the weekend. They were very much on the desert
Yep.
train for their own personal interest, I think. Um, Blood Bowl Stadium fans, I don't know when we start getting into people. Obviously not a sports game,
Mm,
but I don't know if that would work as well if we had people or anything in there. 'Cause I quite like that they're so versatile. What are your
yep.
thoughts on adding things like that into it?
I would, being completely honest, I would be very troubled by going into adjacent to unnamed mega companies game stuff. Could do it though, couldn't you? I mean, you could move away from that game. It could be done.
Yeah, it's just
It's
generic
then,
sports fan sort of thing.
yeah, yeah. Why not? I'm thinking about now sort of sci-fi stuff. You could do some sports fans backdrops for your Sabutio men. That'd be nice. Do people paint those? I bet they do.
I need to find that out now.
Yeah, we need to find that
What do
Sabutio
we
paint.
do? Here we go. I suggest famous battlefields from history.
Mm,
That's my own personal intrigue. Um, so that I will be also going, yeah, we should do that. But I think
yeah,
there's
do that.
still a lot. That's
There's
what's
loads
great
to.
though. We can do. Is there going to be backdrops free?
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't see why it
Can I
was.
come? Can I
Yeah.
come?
Is that like a question? Come on. Well, we started seasons now, so we've got to do at least another. It's one every three
Yeah.
months, whether you like it or not. Yep.
Yeah, I think going into yeah, different what's the word? Different natures. Different what's the word? Like
I
not
don't
different
know.
biomes. So yeah, that's
Biomes,
all like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
deserty things,
Environment,
jungly
yeah,
things,
yeah, yeah.
different environments, more rockier sort of. Yeah, there's so much. But yeah, we should
Yeah.
definitely do all of it. What else have I got on the old loaded up? Oh, a sky. We've got the first sky is coming up.
Oh,
Oh,
can't see which ones.
oh, that's a good sky. Let's have a look. Yeah, yeah, we're on the delay thing. It's weird, isn't it? It's quite a long delay. No, I hadn't looked at
It
it to
is really
realise.
quite a
Yeah,
lot. Yeah, it's a
that's a
really long delay.
substantial delay. Oh wow. And then people will
We're
get to
living in a
this and
different
go,
time
"We're in
bubble.
the future." Yeah, that is really weird. I had no idea
I'm,
how much
I,
it's like
I don't
genuinely
like it at
thought
all.
it was a tiny bit. It's up now
No,
on what we can see. You can
it's
see
like
it
a
now.
minute or something.
Yeah, so
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh,
John can
yeah.
only
That's
see
better.
the images as you see them, whereas we're in the feed. It's all very odd. It's all very odd.
I don't
Um,
understand. It's
I
really
hadn't
upsetting.
seen that sky before. I don't think.
Yeah,
I
that's a kind
really
of
like
work in
that
progress.
one.
But I'm quite liking that sort of delicate. It's really weird because for the skies, I'm using not a real airbrush. God heaven forfend actual art materials, but in Photoshop, a real soft airbrush brush on that one, and it's been a real nice change of pace actually. Really, because they'll just work better. I might do some that have a few more paint marks in because I think that's cool. But these airbrushy ones are really floating my boat at the moment. A little bit more work to do on that, but I'm liking how that all works. It's
Yeah.
cool.
These skies, there's not going to be any mountains or terrain, just pure
No,
skies. Yeah,
just skies, which is really versatile. You can put it
yeah.
behind you. Yeah, look, I mean, how simple is that? But I just thought, hey, do you know what? If I had a model Spitfire, I'd want to put it in front of that blue one.
They're chemtrails, though.
Well, obviously they are.
Yeah,
How do you
I
think the
like
planes got into the sky?
one of my
It's not
favorites.
real.
None of this is real. It's all a dream.
Birds
One of
aren't
my
real.
favorites words regarding my own products and now these is
Mm,
versatile, because I like that
yeah.
with my minis as well, where it's like, yeah, you can use them for like so much, and having just skies is like the height of versatility. So basically all the stuff that we haven't done yet, when people go, what about this battlefield, this sort of thing, you
Mm,
can build that for now. You can build that with your terrain and then put one of the skies behind or complement it,
yeah.
which I think is really
So
good.
it's been interesting. I'm just looking. I sort of feel a bit embarrassed by in my time delay thing. I'm looking at the blue sky with the sort of three like chemtrails, as it were,
So
on there.
I've been
And
now that I'm a pro. I've been moving them ahead of time and then
Oh,
noting
oh
when they've
God.
switched. So it's okay because that's the official one that we're still on. So yeah, keep going.
Oh, nice, cool. But no, I was gonna say it's like it's a bit weird because it's so minimal, and you feel like, but actually, if you've got a setup with scenery and things, that's going to work really well. It's been interesting getting more and more experienced at making the backdrops and almost putting less into them, so that when you drop it behind your scenes, starting to do the skies, you go, oh, okay, put a bit less
The
in.
yeah,
Weirdly, I mean, I'll
less is
still do the way.
more.
Oh yeah, look, that's that
Oh, now we're in there.
moon. The moon's probably going to change size. That's work
Is
in
it?
progress. Yeah,
I like the big
but I like them.
moons.
Yeah,
I like the ones on
moon.
the
Oh
like
yeah,
the ones on like the Mars sort of scapes with the huge moons.
they're cool. You just can't go wrong, can you?
Yes,
A
yeah.
massive sci-fi
The
moon.
huge
Yeah,
moons.
well,
Dark.
but yeah, well, I think that would be really nice behind him. See, the thing is, with that being quite dark, you can light your figure in front of it with
Mm.
like a little, one of those little LED cubes, what have you. Don't buy the cheap ones off Amazon. One of mine is broken already. I got one. I got one of these, and it doesn't even light up anymore. Rubbish.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other one
Yeah,
still works.
that would work really well when you've got like a figure that's just got the light on that
Yeah,
figure in that in the background.
yeah. Ooh,
Yeah,
look
these
at
are
that
cool
one.
skies. Oh, look at this. I like that. I
There's
think
quite a lot.
that's the one. Have you used that with the shield mains where it looks like she's carrying her out of a fire, or is that
It
another?
isn't. That's a different one. Different. There's going to be more than one sort of those sort of golden sky things. But yeah, that's the other one. But yeah, they work well as sort of weird fire explosion things. I'm trying to see if I've got that other one in A4 next to me. I'll never find it.
No.
Um, yeah, it's quite a lot going. Conversely, there's quite a lot going on in that one. When you see it high res, it's quite complicated. Quite a lot
Have
of
you,
detail
have you
happening there.
thought about any
Yeah,
sort of Northern Lights type things
that'd
yet?
be a good
Or have
idea.
you?
I've got 32 to do, so there's plenty of scope.
That sort of
Yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah,
rainbowy sunset bit as well,
yeah,
maybe. Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
some
you got to do that.
some sort of starscapes and stuff as well. I don't want to go too sci-fi with it, but
Mm,
yeah, like Northern Lights and real um what would you call it? Non-light pollution type of sky would be really cool.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. What you feel about constellations or not?
yeah, that'd be good. So much scope for stuff,
We
especially
got in
A
there?
A3 skies. Would be great.
What we got in the comments? Oh, I enjoyed spamming these around at Vat and Attack. They got lots of
Oh, cool.
chats on the so I'd put a bunch up as posters, and I had the existing books. So we sold out the fantasy. We had a couple of the sci-fi left at the end, but they went pretty quickly. And then
Yeah.
I brought my super good glue dot thingies that don't make a trace because I'm a pro at things that don't make a trace, being a renter and will be a renter for all my life probably. So I have all these little gadgets for because I think some of the organisers see me putting stuff up and they're like, "No, we'll lose our deposit."
Mm.
Like, it's fine. I'm queen of getting deposit back. It's fine. So I did put them around, and I can't remember if I've told you. I don't think I have. That I put them up
No.
in I put them up in the toilets. Well, I didn't. I found some men, some men
Some men.
to do it. Yeah, I met some men at breakfast in the hostel, and I say in the hostel. Ended up being in the fancy bit of the hostel, but I'm normally in the slums, but not this time. And due to being a backdrop person, I can't be seen can't be
Yeah,
seen in
no,
a
you've got a
normal hostel bunk.
brand image to maintain. Yeah.
um, so yeah, I met some kitchen, some breakfast men, and so we went in. They said, "Oh, so we went into the show together." And they said, "Is there anything we can do to help you out?" And I was like, "Yes, actually, there is."
Get in that
So
toilet.
yeah. So these lovely men who I didn't actually get the names of, did go and put some toilet pictures up, as is my
It's
tradition at that show.
it's okay that you didn't get their names because I'm sure they're happy to be called the Toilet Men.
Toilet guy, toilet men, yes. It's a good diversion as well because I've been known as the toilet girl for a while, so it's
Yeah.
not a nickname that one really wants to have. But yeah,
You've
they were
like
in
passed it on now.
I did not go into the men's this time, but I am told, as the instructions I gave to them were that they were above the urinals, so that you'd get this lovely John Hodgson view.
As you
Almost like a
emptied your
little
bladder.
window. Exactly, yeah. And there's probably some weird association that some people have got joined together now, but I'm sure it did get a bit of a surge on the Kickstarter. So maybe it did. It did.
I like that
Maybe
sort
it did
of
work.
golden skyscape is up
It's
there.
killing up, killing up.
It's all coming together beautifully.
And then I had to say even weirder things at the end of the day because um
Did
I
you?
was
Did you have to say
I did
weirder
have
things?
to because I thought, well, I can't leave them up there um because I'll get in
Mm,
trouble and I leave no trace.
yeah.
So I just kept asking various men if they were planning on weeing before they were leaving, and then that was a
Okay.
whole like, it's like, excuse me, sir, you plan to use the toilet anytime soon? Why? Why? Like, well, just wondering. That was all I said. Just wondering. No worries.
I
So
mean,
I had.
people do often ask me. People do ask you, "How did you come to be working with Annie?" On your to help you market your backdrop books. And I was like, "Well, I knew that the toilet demographic was massive, and there's only one
It's
person that you can go to for that kind of help." Yeah,
exactly that
brilliant.
sort of
That's
exposure is what you want. But I did win an
yeah,
award for my toilet advertising back in 2018. So it works. It does work. Captive audience. So I appreciate the people who found the humour in that and weren't just like, well, that is weird and I will not go to that stand because I feel
just grab them
violated
off the
now.
wall, grab them off the wall, and scrunch them up, and throw them in the urinal in an
There were
absolute rage.
none found in the urinal. That's a bonus.
Yeah.
Um, so so yes, there was quite a lot of advertising around VapTech. And I chatted to lots of people about backdrops, and it was really cool because I had a little extra bit of space because I was against a wall. So I printed off. No, I didn't print off. You got printed and sent to me.
You
The A3. So I put up some of the A3s and the A4s so
great.
people could actually see them, which was really really cool. And to stop
Yeah,
me just bundling them somewhere, they were all nicely up on the wall, so that was cool. So yeah, it was
fantastic.
really cool. So thanks everyone that I spoke to about backdrops. There was a lot of backdrop chat, so that was cool. And
And was it a good show in general?
That
Was it a
Attack
good, bad,
is
show?
a wicked show. I realised I've done it for about 8 years, maybe more,
Mm.
in the same spot. But oh no, I'm getting distracted by the comments. They're all toilet related. Um,
I was
That
like, oh
Attack.
no, we're going on a bit about the toilet thing, and then you go, oh
No,
no,
they
say
are.
something
They
else. It's
are.
fine. Everyone
Um,
loves it.
Fact Attack's one of my favourite shows. I think it's the friendliest show that I do. I obviously love the massive show because I used to do a lot of them,
Mm.
and then they were just absolutely knackering me. So I cut it right
Yeah,
down. Originally, it was going to be just Salute and just Expo, the shows that knacker me the most, but it's got a very big reward on it. So I just go absolutely big on those because I have to have all the cabinets and all that, and lots of people. Some of them in the chat there that help me out, like Katie.
no, that's good.
And but I kept that attack because it's not too far from me now, and it's just really lovely. And I've had a very mixed experience as it shows over the years. They're a lot nicer now. When I started, I got a lot more comments of people sort of seeing the stand. I said the guy that went, "Whatever next?" I'm like, "What? Women?" Like, it's not that strange. So it was always a bit of a mixed
Oh
bag, and
no,
I found like some shows, for whatever reason, were had more of those sorts of people than other shows, and it was a bit weird. But
that's
Vat
funny.
Attack has always been really friendly, and I think I don't have the stats, but I think it's got a bit more of a mixed demographic there as well. Um, so I've got some very young fans at Vat Attack as well that come up very
That's nice.
excited, and yeah, I had
That's good.
some little girls saying that, oh, it's their favourite stand and everything, and I'm like, it's
Yes.
not the best thing ever. We sold so many guinea pigs yesterday, guinea pigs and guinea pig
Oh, that's
mimics.
good.
Um, and yeah, I've always just have some really nice chats, and I was glad I managed to get some in as well because I was on my own yesterday. I've normally got some helpers, so I did the yesterday, yeah. I did.
Oh, yeah, it was
I don't
yesterday.
know.
Yeah, I'm like, it
It
wasn't
was,
yesterday. Oh, it
yeah, it
was
was
yesterday. Yeah.
yesterday. That's why I've been asleep a lot. Um, So I was worried I wouldn't be able to chat to people because I was doing all the
Yeah,
serving, but I still managed somehow. Um, and yeah, I was just like proper buzzing from it, which is good. And I was like,
that's really
let's
good.
do it, let's do all the shows. And then yeah, by being in bed most of the day, I'm like, oh yeah, they do, they do knock me out. But I got
It
a
is.
lift in with, I did lift in and back with Great Escape. So at least I just got to chuck the racks into the office, and that was it, rather than any sort of major expedition. So thank you to Great Escape Games for all that. That was good. I'm just looking at the comment. They're still about toilets.
Mm.
I should move the thing ahead of time as well, so we can see more of these backdrops. So currently, what we've had up is this stormy night.
Oh yeah. That one's
Yeah,
yeah.
like that, nice and
That, I think that might
stormy.
have been was that the first one I did? Might have been first Sky I did, I think, and thought that'll work.
That's the sky. Have
That'll
people in the
do it.
comments, have you backed the Kickstarter? Are you thinking about backing it and seeing if we're witty enough that by the end we may have won you over? Do you have a favourite? Has anyone got favourite backdrops so far? Other questions that can come up. What else? No more toilet, no more toilet.
Yeah, no, just talk
Yeah,
about the
yeah. So
toilets more.
UK Games Expo's got the biggest mix of people. But for a small, well, it's not, Battle Attack is pretty big as war game shows go, but still of that, like, it's not in a major, not stadium, but it's similar
Mm.
physical size to a lot of the other ones. It
Okay.
does
Yeah.
seem to have a lot. It's got a really good amount of visitors, and yeah, it does seem to be bit more diverse, which is always good as well. And seeing people, I really like people's reactions when they haven't seen the stand before, or when someone points it out to somebody else. So I sort of see them, and they're like, "Oh, because you can't." They're like, exactly, check that out, and then they're like, "This is cool. This is good." Um, Mogsy Makes has backed for 4 of the A3 books, and he says commercial
Nice
licenses
one.
are a great idea. They sure are. So I was even pitching to different companies yesterday as well at the show, going commercial licenses, wobbling
We
them,
saw
like
this week. This
wobbling
week
them.
we saw one on a book cover. A book
Yeah,
cover is yeah. What is it? I can't remember what it's for. I can't remember what it is.
no,
In
but it was
fact, I can see
cool.
it in my mind. Yeah, it's a Callum Brooks title, and they've used there's a backdrop on there. It's good. Cheap
Think
covers. Let me tell you, you do have to put a miniature in front of them. Can't just print them. I mean, that's literally in the license. You can't just print them on the artwork. But yeah, no, that's good. And we is Mogsy Makes there only under his pseudonym of Mogsy Makes? Hello, Mogsy Makes. I know who you are, really.
we'll get him to give us
Uh,
permission, and we can talk about
yeah,
some of the stuff he's done with them. I
yeah,
don't think he's there as a
yeah.
secret, but we'll
No,
double check.
we don't want to get anyone
Um,
in trouble.
yeah, we've got a bunch of the backers, bunch of backers in here. This is what we want.
Good.
Alec never
That's
knows
what we
what to
want.
go best, A4 or A3, so just bought both for Fantasy and Winter and
Wow.
Skies and Winter. Oh no, bought both just for the Fantasy and Skies and Winter. Yes, thank
Yeah.
you very much. It's very appreciated.
See now,
Um,
you've been really converted to A3, haven't you, Annie? You're really loving
um,
those.
but I do still see see the value in the A4. I've not entirely
Yeah,
gone, and that's again. I always feel like I'm shilling. I'm so genuinely like love these. So I'm not there like, don't worry, you can still buy both. So what I
yeah.
found was with some of the sci-fi, depending on the sort of scene that you like as well, because it changes the Again, I'm not very good with words today. It's just different. So
The
so yeah,
scale
so
is very
because
different,
so
isn't it?
especially when there's more going on, like the sci-fi, when you've got the smaller bit of paper because the image is smaller, it looks far away. So you can fit obviously more of that, whereas when you depending
Yeah.
on how you crop things, so I think I took one with like just a little guinea pig, um, and when you put more of the background, this is not making any sense at all. It's different.
It is
I
quite
think
different. Is it? I was thinking, I got.
if I could choose now, I would go I could only have one of
Mm,
each. I'd go for A3 because for my uses, I'm not really using them in that like what a lot of other people are, which is to show off their figures as the primary,
yeah,
and they are the nice backdrops. I like making those scenes, the narrative scenes. So it gives me more space because obviously the further away the camera gets, the smaller part of it, the backdrop is. So when that covers a bit more space, you can go deeper with the terrain, which gives them more depth. So you've got the
That's right.
maybe a
Yeah.
tiny bit blurry at the front, and then yeah, all these different trees and hills, and it makes it look almost like a photograph. There's one of them I took that I'm really happy with, where it's just like, oh, it's just like a nice place. So it gives you a bit more leeway to sort of make those scenes, I think, in A3. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Works really well, doesn't it? I got a bit hung up on where they're bigger. So sometimes I want them to stay to like increase the scale of the image so that if you've got something like, say, a Gundam kit or something like that, where it's not actually 28mm scale, if you like, it's a different scale, they'll work for that as well. Because I thought, oh, should I extend the edges of the images rather than blow them up to A3? Should I extend the edges to make them sort of like the same scale but a widescreen, if you like? And I thought, no, don't do that because people can use them for all sorts of different stuff. So don't just
Mm.
break it so that it does one thing.
Quite a lot of
That took
questions
me a
about
lot of thinking.
scales, wasn't there? Scales of figures.
Yeah,
Um, and
I get it as well. Hills. You see, hills are brilliant. Hills can just be any. They might be big hills or they might be little hills, and you go, oh yeah, they work for anything, which is cool. You've got to be a bit more. When you start getting buildings and things in, you've got to just manage it a bit more.
we've got
So I
Monty
don't like that
Mates.
because I'm very lazy.
Well, I guess like if
Yeah,
you did do something like crowds of people, that would affect because it's something that's more
yeah,
pinpointable. Whereas yeah, like rocks and
yes.
things could be anything. Moxie says it's okay. I can be identified. Just no embarrassing stories from my youth, please. So,
No,
what's
no,
the
as
funny
if.
story you have about James Morris? It's James Morris. We know you. He's been working with some of your artwork, hasn't he?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. James was the originator of the whole backdrop thing. So yeah, yeah, yeah. It was James encouraging me to do it in the first place, sort of because I have a Patreon. Everyone has a Patreon, right? I have a Patreon where you can get them as PDFs, not the current ones. Actually, I keep meaning I must give my patrons some of these to download and start mucking about with. But that was sort of pre-backdrop books, but downloadable PDF files. But James was very encouraging about all that. It's really weird because I've known James for like forever, and this is a bit weird because this is different worlds colliding. So very odd. I used to work for James many years ago, and we made rubber swords for a living. That was good.
So, the most embarrassing story you have about James,
I can't
Mr.
know
James
because I know too
Morris?
many really embarrassing ones, and I'm having to. A little minute ago, you might have been able to say I was like live filtering. My brain was just like going ding 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 like the Terminator, pulling up all these different. Tonight I can't nothing. I don't know any stories about James
Nothing,
at all.
nothing, nothing at all.
No, there's nothing. No,
So he's been using a lot of the backdrops for that game.
that game Midgard,
God, that's the one. That's the one. So that's
Midgard's game of heroic. I can't ever remember the tagline. James had to put it
thingamies.
in the thing.
You will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we're
So
working on that as well. We're doing artwork and everything for that, and layout and everything. So cool.
it's getting to the point that if you take a photograph and it's not on a John Hodgson backdrop, then what are you even doing?
I know it's just ridiculous.
You've gone out of focus, by the way. I think you've just pressed
Am
something.
I?
Yeah, just like really. Oh, there
No,
you are.
it's
There you
my
go. You're back.
stupid camera. It's my
Yeah,
terrible camera that just does its
it's
own
fine. I think it
focusing
was. It
constantly.
was. It was thinking about your little friends in the background. I think that's what it
Oh yeah,
was.
it might. Yeah, if I like duck out, it'll
So
focus in on my friends.
I've put us onto the very colourful sky, which I totally want
Oh
to
yeah,
have a
look at
go
that.
with.
Yeah,
Um,
and I didn't actually set out to do a sort of don't know what you would call that sort of super day glow color, but
funky.
that yeah, but it good, isn't it, for that sort of
Oh,
thing?
Mr. Morris says, "Thank you, John, for your integrity. It's Midgard Heroic Battles." Yes, you should check that out.
So
I'll get him to tell me after the stream, though. He's like,
yeah,
"What
look,
did he
Dom
do?"
Lonely Chronicles. Jez
So,
Hunt is saying in another weird crossover. Who was I talking to the other day? I was talking to a friend who helps me with sort of historical accuracy stuff for deep history projects, who also goes to Domnoni Chronicles, and which is a live action role play club that I used to go to in a completely different life. I mean, that's like that's last century. I used to go to that. terrifyingly. So old. And then he just blew away in like a shower of dandruff, crumbled. Dear, oh dear. Yeah,
So
yeah. But
talking of so old, who are these little friends in the background that you've got? Tell us about
what
these.
them? Yeah. So these are. So how long ago now was it? Was it last year? The year before? I published a book called. It's a game, a storytelling game called Mask Witches of Forgotten Doggerland, and in the first edition, it used what was then something very, very new, really weird, really interesting. Was you had to sign up, you had to be invited to a beta version of something called Midjourney, which then grew and grew into a horrific monster, which I am no longer keen to have anything to do with at all. But it all moved so quickly, like a year, maybe a bit longer than a year ago. It was like this weird little art project, and me and my friend Mike, who works for Blizzard, is like, oh, he's really senior there now in concept art there. We just put together a little game using it because it made really crazy images, and then I sort of spun off this game about the psychedelic Mesolithic is the sort of tagline, and it is about Doggerland, which is the land that has now been drowned by the North Sea, which you may be aware of from the Johnny Come Lately, whatever it is, war on a whatever front Osprey game. Looking through my windows continually, the people at Osprey. And that's a joke, by the way. Don't hurt me in the courts. It looks really good. I'm not just saying that to be stupid. But yeah, it's a sort of thing. But I'm remaking it. The whole point, the original question was, what is that stuff there? I'm remaking the game rather than with AI imagery. I'm making loads and loads of props and taking loads of weird photos of that stuff. And it's all coming together really well. And it's freaking me out like mad. It's really horrible. And I'm not entirely in control of it most of the time, which is great. Let's hang
I
on.
love them.
Let's
I love
just.
them so much. I like this skin you've been making as well.
Oh yeah, I've been making some skin like you
Skin.
do out of just latex. Oh look, here's some.
Oh look, there's some skin. There's John showing
There's
his
some
skin.
skin. You can
He
wrap that
doesn't
around a skull and it looks
he
good.
doesn't wear it like a
Well,
mask and parade
I
around
could.
the moors.
What else have I got in here? Oh look, there's a little. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get it in focus or anything, but there's an amulet that's like a bit of got a beetle in it.
Eye.
What else have I got? Where's my witch knives? Oh, here's a good one. Look. And models are like, that's a witch knife, which the mask witches use witch knives to stab spirits, but that's got some teeth on it, which is nice. It's really good. There we go. But
Box of
yeah,
teeth and skin.
yeah, lots of teeth. Where's my
Teeth and
teeth? Hang on.
skin.
There's some. That's how the teeth come. Oh, look, there's a full set. Is the whole game, especially with the models and the props, is really about when you do that. Like that's the spirit of it, where you
It's a
got
spirit.
like teddy eyeballs and stuff. Very good.
It's
Anyway,
got all
we're not here to talk about that. It's too weird.
I've got John's links in the description bit as well, so you should go look
Mm.
at stuff that John does because he doesn't just do backgrounds. He does like everything,
Does
including
other
plays
stuff.
plays with boxes of teeth.
There's the original Mask Witches, which we did. I did a talk at Liverpool John Moores University to students in the history department because obviously universities now are very keen to show sort of application of study in the real world in inverted commas, and of course we do a lot of history game stuff, and that came the cover to that came up massive on the screen while I was doing the talk, and everyone went like, "Ooh!" It's great. Yeah, that's a good one. Keep that. That's good. That works. It's horrified people. Good.
And I'm glad that I now know what the Doggerland is as well, which I probably should
Yeah.
have known ages ago. But I kind of liked not knowing because I liked it as in my mind as just a little land
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
where the
Just your
dogs
own.
run everything, the little dog land. But not just loads of drowned
That's
people.
a very That's a very innocent version of normally I get UK Games
There's
Expo. Lots of people invented jokes for the first time about dogging. There you go. Dogging land. Yeah, thanks. Brilliant.
uh,
Brilliant.
There's a place down south called Dogtown, and I've never been to there because I don't want to ruin it. Because I imagine that, yeah, you go
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
shop and everything, they're all sort of like wearing clothes,
Little
and like,
dogs
and you go in the pub and they've all
doing
got flat caps on and stuff. Wow,
doing
Dogtown.
their best.
Yeah,
No one's got hands.
they're trying. We've got a ruin, one of the ruins. This is
Oh
one that
yeah.
I
Oh,
have got, and I
that
haven't done many photos with yet, but I do have it. This is one I
there's
like a
one.
lot.
There's one photo I took on that one of three of your models, shield maidens, and that looks really nice on that one. Have I got that in A3? I bet I haven't got that in A3. No,
No,
or maybe I
I've
have.
got an A4 of it,
I might have
but I
printed an
think
A3.
with the old versatility that some of these ruins work again because they're so vague. So there's a
Yep,
similar one that I've used for sci-fi as well because they're more shapes than anything, and that's
yep.
what you want for the background because that's the background. So that yeah, that sort of vagueness as it disappears off, I really like that.
That's just the outskirts of Stalingrad, if you want it to be. Do you know what I
Also,
mean?
I
I don't
thought
know
you
the
were gonna
mount.
say like your town or something. Doesn't mean to laugh at
I've never,
Stalingrad.
I've never been, I've never been to Stalingrad because I like to imagine it as just populated by loads of Stalins, or in flat cap. Sorry, that's a weird callback.
Starting
Deeply
town.
inappropriate about a genocidal maniac. Anyway, moving
So
on.
anyway, I'd rather be at Dogtown. I think it's a much more
Yeah,
wholesome
Dogtown's nice,
place.
isn't it? Yeah,
Um, but no, I thought you were gonna say, oh, what's that? Ooh. I thought you were gonna say, oh, it's just like Barry Island or something. But then now I've gone and offended Barry Island. So Barry
full of
Island's a nice
berries.
place, full of berries. Yeah. So we've moved on to so another ruin. I like this. I think I've got this one, but I haven't done much with it yet.
Mm.
So is that like a burial mound? Is that a city or
It's a bit of
mound?
it's like a
Yeah,
broch in the background there.
that's
So
nice. I
yeah,
like that.
yeah, like a Scottish broch.
I am a fan of
We
the classic Hodgson hills. Nice hills.
Yeah, can't go wrong. Yeah, no,
And when it
that's
does,
all right.
when we come to this, because we're in the future now, the next one I've put up is oh actually yeah, this is my favourite. Not this one, though I do like this one when we get to it. The one that's coming up is my favourite. I think ruins. Maybe when when we draw, 'cause I draw some of them. I don't. The a mix of ruins
Mm-hmm.
and an ocean, I think, could be nice as well. Um, but yeah, oh, there he is. There it is. Yeah, I
Yep.
love this one. I've taken so many photos with this. This and some of the rubble of sort of rocks and ruins that I've got from Paul Berlin Tuesday fit really well in the photos with this. I've taken a lot, and I have used this for sci-fi as well because again, it could be anything. I really like the
That's a
birds as well.
that's a funny. That was definitely like meant to be a sort of Middle Earthy type
Mm,
one, and I think they can work quite well where I sort of busked that painting together. I didn't really design it, if you know what I mean. I just took a line for a walk, as they say, and that like I really like that great big bit of masonry in the middle. Is sort of there's something weirdly real about it. Like you get those sort of Norman castles that have just got one big bit left. That's it. On the sort of Welsh borders or something. Well, when you start talking about a thing and you realize you just don't know anything about it, and I should be able to go, the name of this place when
that's
I'm
my
just thinking about
life.
something. Yeah,
Like I
just
think
there's this thing I dimly remember from Time Team once. Yeah.
in terms of favourites, I think ones with darker skies personally I like quite a lot
Mm.
as well. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but yeah, that one I absolutely love. Um,
it's moody
Alec
that one, isn't
Melinda
it? It's
says
moody.
ruins for your ghouls. Yeah, I do love
Yeah,
ghouls.
yeah.
My ghoul Kickstarter is all shipped. It's been a very busy week because I've been doing all this ghouls, some other behind the scenes, deciding that I could prep for a show in a day and a half. I hadn't done one since Expo. I was finding all these business cards and notes and things of people's email addresses and all that I'd taken at Expo. And well, I won't be contacting them, I guess. Well, people went, oh yeah, we've got a campaign, you should check it out. And I guess that's finished now. Oops. Um, so it has been a bit of a mad week, but then in all that managed to get the Ghoul Kickstarter finished, which I'm hoping gave us a nice little
That's
boost because
amazing.
it meant that I was able to bump all of my threads everywhere and go, the Ghoul Kickstarter's finished. Here's a Ghoul on a John Hodgson backdrop. So you're
Dun, dun,
trying to get the
dun.
word out. I do feel
Yeah,
that sort of guilt of like spamming everywhere. But no one's complained. But yeah, it's just been like, what's online today? Oh look, it's Annie. Hey, here is
who's
another
that?
backdrop picture. But they're so
Yeah, but
lovely, and I think we've done a really good sort of swamping the internet because everybody else has also been like again like the community's been awesome for this because they've been posting like some photos on the existing books and then shouting out. By the way,
yeah,
they've also got this Kickstarter on,
amazing. It's
so
really
you
good.
you can't avoid it, which is good if you want to force you to get it. And this is
I
a
mean,
book.
I did genuinely think because they are everywhere at the moment. Certainly I'm seeing loads. That's really nice to see them. I go looking for them, obviously, but it's really wholesome, isn't it? And it's nice to sort of be part of that community creativity thing. But I did think on this campaign, I thought this could be it where everyone's like, "Oh, I'm sick of it now.
Goddamn
Sick of them
backgrounds.
paintings. Why don't you paint properly? Stop doing it like that and do some proper paintings, not them ones you do." That sort of thing, And back to talk about intrusive, sort of, self-critical thought. What is this voice in my head? Where does it come from? Thanks, mum. But yeah, but it's lovely. It's really good. The people have been so cool about it. It's nice, really good.
It's just that validation, which I found at the show yesterday because I don't do as many now,
Mm,
and that's one of the things that got me down in lockdown was that I was almost relying on the shows for that for the validation because online it's maybe not sometimes just it's just a bit quiet, and then yeah you
yeah,
are stuck with yourself and then thinking are they good I don't know, and then you go to
but,
shows
but
and yeah people are like these are amazing this is so good it's like ah there we go. Phew. So
But you find
that's
I find that at shows you get the sort of quiet people that don't necessarily want to stick their head above the parapet online, and I totally understand why you wouldn't want to do that. And they'll just come up and go, "Oh, I really like what you do," and that's really lovely. And you're like, "Oh my god, like thank you," because I can see that meant something to you. So yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Whereas, and I think if you're running a business, all you see is just the problems because that you don't go, "What will I do this afternoon?" Or think about how many customers are happy. You don't do that, do you? You go, oh,
that guy, that
the
guy.
the best that happens is, oh my god, I need to clean up this office. That's the you're always trying to improve what you're doing, and you're always focusing on the things that have gone wrong. You never, and it is exactly as you say. You go to a show, and in a way, you have to sort of stop and talk to people. So yeah,
You
it's
see
good,
it
isn't it?
through their
Nice.
eyes, which I quite like as
Yes.
well. Because I think, yeah,
Yeah.
if I saw my stand, I'd be well happy with it. Hey, what all this cool stuff? What should I get? Oh my god, they've got guinea pigs. And yeah, I
Yeah.
think that you kind of
Yeah.
get immune to it on the day to day, don't you? Because you
Yeah.
always see it like, yeah, you're drawing what, like over 100 backdrops, and they're all
Mhm.
just backdrops now. You're like, ah, but each,
And it,
it's a new one that nobody's seen before.
Yeah, because and like on the last campaign, some genius, me, decided no, won't need any help to fulfill this one. I'll do it myself. And every single pledge was for a book. There was no like PDFs. I'm so used to with the role playing games, about a third of every campaign will be PDFs. So you just fulfill all of those with a couple of clicks. And you go, no, 600 and whatever backers. That's 600 parcels, and every single one of those I packed myself and sent because I'm just stupid, honestly. Like, what a ridiculous thing to do. But I mean, I know you do the same. This time I've got help because turns out you can pay people like
Yay.
to help you.
And that's good for you
But
then,
at the
because you
end
can
of that,
stay in that brain space of being an
yeah.
artiste, which you are.
And well, it's tricky as well because I secretly really like the fact I pack them and it's nice and it
So do
doesn't
I.
it's not viable, but it's and it's not just sort of control freakism. It's genuinely I like that it goes to the people. Oh
Yeah.
God, I said I start crying
No,
now.
again,
But it's not, it is. It's real. It's real. It's a
I was
nice
doing
thing.
it when I was packing all the ghouls, and I'm like, So one of the things that I do is, yeah, you get to the point like, oh, someone should
Mm.
do, and at some point of Bad Squiddo, I'll have somebody who does all that. But that's the bit that
Yeah,
I do really like because I like seeing what people have bought and recognizing the names when I'm doing the
you see
orders
the
and stuff.
names.
So
Yeah,
yeah, it's like
I've been trying to
thanks for
think of a
coming
nice
back.
non-threatening, non-crazy way to say to people, I do see your names, and like I like it. I think, oh, that's that. But I don't know anything about that person at all. But I saw their comments and I saw them in that you get familiar. It's nice, really good enough. To me, that is Kickstarter should be like that.
I see
But yeah,
your
I mean,
names.
I know where you live. I've literally got your address. Yeah, carry on being mean to me in the comments. I've literally got your address. What are you doing, you idiot? Yeah. Anyway, just to talk about being non-threatening. Dear, oh dear.
Oh, what we got there? Oh. So I've got a picture
Genuine
up.
question.
Oh, genuine question.
Look, yeah, when using these backdrops, is it? I can't see past the thing, but yeah, is the idea to photograph your minis from a lower angle than usual? Yeah, you can get some really good results doing that. You don't have to, but there's some I did of the Against the Skies of the My Heroine figures, and I shot those at a low angle, and they just look cracking. So you certainly can do that. You don't need to going for eye line. I tend to go for.
Sometimes I do them a bit lower because I'm doing them from from the camera phone, and it just means that I rest it really hard. Well, not really hard, really stable on the table. Stable on the table. So that's actually one of the reasons because I'll just lean the phone. Hang on, you can see the stream here. But yeah, just lean the
Okay.
phone on a flat surface. And a lot of the times I've got some little like little not risers, things I use as risers. But yeah, I think I tend to do it just because that's a really neat way of holding it, and then you can sort of see around. But they do seem to work quite well that way. And I guess the more of that angle you get, you've got to hide the horizon a bit. So yeah, but they do work with all sorts. But I just personally like that. Like yeah, it sometimes makes it more heroic as well, doesn't it? You can get
Mm-hmm.
really. I took some of the Ghoul Queen where you're basically underneath her, and you can do these really high ones by moving the backdrop books higher. So but building it up and putting that on top of something, and then you've got this like huge, huge space. That was something else I liked with the A3 that you can crop them
Mm-hmm.
um in more different ways. And the bane of promoting stuff on social media is everything's got its own different, its own preferred way, and you can even get up to Instagram stories and TikTok a lot easier with the A3. I've got a
Oh
guinea
yeah,
pig.
that's true. Yeah.
Got a guinea pig on the screen there. That's just one of the. So now into just
Oh
I've
yeah.
just whacked in a bunch of the photos I've been taking. I can't remember. I think it's an A3 backdrop on that one. But what I was trying to
I
say
reckon that's A3.
before, but getting into word garble, is if that was an A4 book, it'd still work. You'd obviously have to crop. I don't know why I'm pointing at. You'd have to crop it. Um, but the buildings would look further away because they were smaller. So there's different ways you can sort of play about with that. As an entirely self promo, I've really enjoyed playing around with my minis and scenics. Um, it's ooh, what's he doing there?
Just
It's just
demolishing my office in the background. Sorry,
it's all
carry on.
right. It's been
Ignore
really
me.
fun. Actually, I think that's a good bit to say. When I was in York, I was next to Dave Lanchester, who's my favourite bookseller, and I always like winding him up. And I bought this. How old is this book?
Nice.
I didn't actually check that. Uh, it's not, oh, I was gonna say it's not that old, but it is 1989. Just to make everyone feel old, this was before I was born. Oh,
Oh,
right in the heart.
low blow.
Um,
Yeah, right in there, right
this
in the bus
ancient,
pads.
this ancient tome that has been dug up. Obviously, uh, materials and all that have been updated, but the basics to a lot of this stuff is timeless. And I've already been having a bit of a flick through, and there's such cool stuff in it, but it's very much of its time. Some of the bits in there. Um, but yeah, I saw that and went, yes, this is my hobby. I've absolutely loved these. But like, imagine that scene there if that had a John Hodgson backdrop.
yeah, look out for the black backdrops books where
Yeah,
it's just a black
different.
book of yeah.
So maybe I'll learn some new things from this book. But yeah, aside from just being a beast of a promoter for this campaign, I absolutely love, and you've discovered that as well, just the joy of photographing minis, and you get to just see them in different
Yeah,
ways and tell little stories. And that's what got me into the hobby in the first place. Just I really like small, just small lands. It's probably a god complex or something because you're there like, ah, my land, it's all here. And it's
yeah.
just another way to appreciate your minis.
It's nice. I think we both have to hold back a little bit on um, making sure we show simple scenes that you can literally just put the backdrop book, behind a figure and take a photo of it on your phone and it works. Because I get really into like lighting and as I've got the smoke machine and all of this nonsense. But it's really good. I've really enjoyed that as a hobby, and it's got me back into painting miniatures. I said in a few places I stopped painting miniatures when COVID happened, when the first lockdowns happened. I don't really know why, but I've just never picked it up again, which is really disappointing. And I sort of lost my mojo completely. But this has got me back into it, actually. I mean, I've only painted like 2 figures since Christmas. I bought a load of paint I thought this Christmas holiday, I'll take some time and paint some miniatures. No, I painted 0 miniatures, but I want to now, which is the first step. So that's good. Yeah. And that is from building little scenes. I'm fed up of the 3 figures that I've stolen off of you. They're beautiful, beautiful figures, but I need some other ones, and I can't. I don't think you'll send me anymore under false
I was gonna
pretenses.
swap them. I was
Oh,
gonna say we could swap
absolutely,
them out. So
yeah,
I've got a
yeah,
scene
yeah.
here that's got. It's not one of the mega scenes because I had the same. I was taking more and more elaborate scenes, and I quite like covering up the bases when I'm doing it because I've got all the
Mm.
different scatters, and um, and then I thought, oh, maybe I'm just daunting people because there's so much going on. So I thought I'll scale it back a bit. This is one of the medium ones where there's bits going on, but there's nothing fancy in there. It's just lots of things placed down. That Guns and Stuff buildings by Paul, who was in here earlier, Berlin Tuesday. I absolutely love it. I put that's one of my little robo scarecrows on top, but that's showing off how much you can do with the A3, and you can obviously fit way more figures in there if you wanted to. It's also Renedra. What are they called? God, we've got many
Container.
words between us. Shipping container, yes. Um, and yeah, using those as sort of natural blockers as well to create that horizon, so you haven't got the edge of the book in. It's just fun sort of playing around with them, and yeah, get to see the minis. I love that guinea pig in a trench pile of guinea pigs in a trench coat was way popular yesterday as well, which was also ace. I got out the habit of moving them in advance, so I'll pretend
Mm.
that I've done that. But yeah, I did those. I was doing those videos of set up a scene with me, and then I looked back and went, "Oh, this does look like there's loads of steps to using them." So then I did one that was just like, you just throw it down, book down, plinth, boom. Don't even need the plinth. But the plinths are pretty cool. There's someone a bit higher up. Where are we? Did I miss it? Somebody said they were making a plinth in the chat.
Yeah,
But
terrifying
yeah,
AI said making
terrifying
yeah, and
AI.
plinths.
Yeah.
I've had some right nice times making plinths, and again because it's a useful thing. They're so good to have. For just it is literally just a pedestal to put your miniature on. But I've made loads of them now, and I really enjoy it because it's really low pressure. You just muck it. It's so small, you can just muck about with a bit of scenic stuff. Yeah, it's good,
Might be
isn't it?
tempted to do some plinth videos, plinth making. This
Mm.
photo that's up now is just one of the ones where people were asking about showing more figures because I got into the habit of just taking a picture of one and went, oh yeah, the whole point is so people want to be showing off more bits and bobs. So of
Yeah,
ghouls versus shield maidens. Oh, look at the plinth.
I can sort of frame it like I would, in a photo. But yeah, I mean, it's sort of
Like if your
ridiculous.
head was the miniature.
Like,
Oh, I
Zardos.
haven't
No,
took
it
a
floats
picture yet.
Zardos.
I forgot. I was supposed to take a picture of my Dave Pig on an A3 backdrop. Oh,
But it's
how
just
will I
really
do
good.
that?
Make a little plane.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
you've not got long.
I
Sorry, I've
haven't.
just
I
caught up with what
know.
you're saying.
Yeah,
I was just like Annie saying
plinth,
words, and I don't know what they mean, so I'll just
plinth.
ignore it. But oh yeah, no, you need to take a picture of Dave
Ah,
in front
so I
of
should
the
have the
A3
pictures are.
background.
Do I like bring Dave into the office to what's the
It'll be He'll
Oh
be
no,
in
I'll
his
have
bed
to.
now.
Yeah, I'll have to leave early and get back so I can take a day on an A3. We got there's one on the loading, so I'm in the future again. But I
Okay.
will we'll get to it soon. Talking about again just different ways you can frame them because there's that difference between showing off a mini. Hey, there they are. Showing off the miniatures because you want to show off the miniature, or whether you want to sort of tell a story in a scene. So things like this, where you're sort of obscuring parts, I think work really well as well, just as a as a photography thing. So you can see a little bit of the figures, but they tell a little story in there. And they're the Gale Force 9 crystals that just come as is. And I was enjoying mucking about with those and that favourite back tunnel drop of it. Tunnel drop? I also have no words. Just to make some colourful ones. And yeah, you just get really into it, going like, oh, these are really sweet. Yeah, just and everything. There's some coming up in a bit as well where I've was messing about with cactus, just with the office cactus and trying to get those into shots. And now I kind of start seeing everything as potential backdrops, potential backdrop scenery as well. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just think that's awesome as well. I'm just gonna skim and move some of these because there's quite a lot. I don't want us to go on too late. Just talking about how great we are. I just
Yeah,
think
we made this thing. It's absolutely
these are just
brilliant.
really great. Um,
Thanks for
but
coming to hear us talk about how great we are. Yeah.
I have just really enjoyed taking these photos,
Yeah,
and
look at that. That's great.
and I've been trying to keep as much of the backdrop in for these, because that's what we're advertising. But afterwards, I really want to get to grips, trying to do
Hmm.
bits where there's lots going on, and that's almost it's not featuring the backdrop. That's just another part of the image. So there's all that. So it's not like the campaign's finished and I go, I'm bored of it now. I'm not going to do it anymore because there's just so much. Um, Also, what was the other bit with the backdrops? All these photos are taken with my phone. I treated myself in Christmas to a new camera, and I started taking some with the camera. I'm really having fun with it, and I went, oh, again, this defeats the purpose of what I was trying to do. So the first book's got an article that I've written about, you don't need gear. I went, and now I'm using all this gear. So for the purpose of the campaign, I thought I'm going to go back to just taking them all with my phone because this is again the accessibility that you don't need all this stuff. My phone's I can't remember what phone it is, but it's not the latest phone or anything. And most of the I don't know what I've done to it, but a lot of the time weird things happen around the edge of it. I think it's got some scratches on it or something. Um but that you can get these results without having to do a massive setup. You really can. Like that's just one hill. Don't yeah, checking what's on there. That's just one hill with the figure on top and a backdrop. That's an A4 one. Um, and that is all you need. What have we got in the comments? As I keep repeating, it's all you need. You just need the backdrop and a plinth. Um, we got Apocrypha now has only had a backdrop book for a couple days and it's totally changed how I'm photographing my minis. It's awesome. Carmine's the point of a live stream to talk about how great you are. This is true. Um,
Apparently so. Yeah.
I really liked these. They did like a whole series of with
Look at that.
these figure combos, and that was really fun because I'm like, well, it's if a statue's fallen. I'm looking at it now. If a statue's fallen down, it's not going to just be a head there. It's going to be rubble. So then I found I've got them all in these like spice racks, all the different flocks and things. I was like, oh yeah, now I can like pour these, and then I'm putting the snow on like that. Scene and getting all these bits together, and it's just really nice. I got snow everywhere when I was doing all
Oh,
those snow pictures. It was a snow mayhem. Um, we're nearly at the end. Hey,
where's
there's
my brilliant? I'm going to get my best ever plinth. I've just realised. I don't have to go far.
plinth collection.
Yeah.
Oh,
This was done for a different thing.
what?
Because obviously I hot
Oh, the
glued
slate.
loads of slate to a board for a different project, but just that in deep perspective works really well. I can't do it. Why can't I make it work on my camera? Yeah. That's brilliant.
It's the one on
Big
the
stones and
thumbnail
just
where
great.
you've got all your big bits of slate. Yeah, and
That's
that's again, you don't need anything too wild. There's my favourite backdrop on that photo there. Ah, that photo, and it was just a
that is the
quick
best
one,
one.
and someone had said,
Best
"Oh,
one.
what lighting did you use?" And like just the office lights. That was the lighting was terrible in there. And yeah, just the camera phone, and it just
That's
yeah, it's just
cracking in
like
it.
the
That one.
depth of that, and that's with an A3, and that's what I was saying earlier about being able to get extra depth. That there's bits of that she's not right in front of the backdrop. You've got those space to have those other bits and a bit, a bit more forward. And there's just so much to it. But yeah, I just snapped it because I thought I was about to go home and went, oh, I better do another update with a picture and take a few more of those A3s. What, you've created a masterpiece. I love that. I like that. It's just so narrative, and it just works so well. That sort of combo. Those hills we need to shout Fox Miniatures dioramas um made those
Mm.
hills, and they're just really nice. And obviously you can make them. The only reason I buy them is because I don't have time, and well, again, it's all what time you choose to do. But I know I'd never get round to making them. My bit at the moment is to try and I'll show things off too. This is where I drop them all. Been working on my ghouls. I
Mm.
say that I've done nothing. I got my ghouls out the box and I put them in this movement tray that I've now not even glued together. But I've been working on. I've been thinking about it. So if I just even get ghouls done, that's something. So all I've got to do is just flock these bits. Um, and I am looking forward to once I start getting the ghouls back up and running to then photographing them on my Hodgson backdrops and
Mm.
popping them into some of the groups as a bit of stealth. All I say every Kickstarter is it's just so hard to actually promote them because no one any new release or anything, nobody wants you advertising anywhere. So, but how how people find so you've got to kind of get around it with all these different sneaky ways, and it's really weird. So I again extra appreciate anyone who's shared them or linked. 'Cause it's like yeah, you do a link and then it kills the post if there's a link in it. But if you
Mm-hmm.
don't do a link, they're not gonna know where to click or they'll forget or like. So you're always balancing. There was a point in the week where my reach, especially on Facebook, it just sunk. And I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
hey, John, look at all this cool reach that I've got advertising these books. I'm like, oh no, they're 4 likes on something. I was like, so it just so then I had this break of like I'll post some other things, and it's like the AI will notice maybe that loads of the photos have just been minis with backdrops, and it's like you're posting the same things, we won't show anyone. So in between, I've got to be like, here's my face, here's a guinea pig backdrop, here's a model that's not on a backdrop, and you have to all that is just so weird when you should just be able to go backdrops. Which is why I do appreciate the well, I appreciate all the shares and stuff, but also my own awesome skills of putting backdrops in toilets. So there.
Well,
Um,
that's the real key, the key
yeah,
aspect
backdrops in
of the
toilets, the toilet
marketing
market.
effort.
There's one of John's on there with the
Yeah, yeah.
skies and a beautiful Bad Squiddo mini there. Who maybe coming back to me
That's
one day.
one of my favourite miniatures. It's mine
Nice,
now.
a nice
Yeah,
Fenris
nice.
Barrow as well. We're both fans of
That's very good.
putting these bits of blurry in the front. You should talk about
Yeah,
that. Why we like these little blurry front bits.
just adds a bit more depth to it, doesn't it? You can just, you put your figure then becomes in the middle ground, which is really nice. It's very easy to do because you can almost put anything out of focus, just in front of the just clipping the corner of the frame or something. Just
I
makes you want
just
to move into it, doesn't it? And look around the. It's very
feel like
engaging, kind of.
you're peeping in. It's a bit of a
Yeah,
peeping element. In your background there, you've actually got one of your setups, or you can see there how simple it is. I can see a
that is well. Is that
backdrop,
very similar? That's the same barrow. Yeah,
same
that's the same barrow there. Yeah, and yeah, it's got an A3 backdrop behind it. But
little
yeah,
sky. Look at that sky.
got my winter barrow.
Mm.
I was saying to Ian from Fenris, I was really frustrated. He kindly sent me, I mean, last year before Expo, sent me a couple of those Barrow entrances to try out. And like an idiot, I did one winter themed and one summer themed, so I can't use them together to make like the Barrow Downs. So then he very kindly sent me a load more. So I need to make more Barrows. In fact, I'm making, look at this. Look at this horrific thing that I'm making
Oh,
at the moment. Look, it looks like a great big poo. But I've got one of his great big Barrow entrances. That's the biggest one.
oh,
And that will just stick on there. Look, flock,
nice.
beautiful.
It's nice
That'll be
seeing
a
them in
winner.
some context as well, because again, it's everyone trying to
Yeah,
do so many different things. Ian's had those out, but
yeah,
hasn't had a chance to put them into a barrow, so it's really cool seeing them
yeah.
look ace. I haven't
Thanks,
got
man.
any more images. It goes back to the first image now, and so I don't want to be.
My winter one. Look. I make it. I
Nice.
make all this scenery now that's really shallow. It's not like it looks like a sort of burial mound in photos, and it's like 3 inches deep.
It's all
There we go.
lies. It's all lies. If anyone has any questions, we'll be wrapping it up very shortly. Um, just so we're not just going on a loop. The images are on a loop when it does catch up. They're all got back to a snow. So we should probably do a roundup of what we've even been going on about. So backdrops
Mm,
Kickstarter, 10 new
still
books. You don't
on.
have to get them all. You can get one or two of them, or just get them all if you can. You can add on the existing ones. Obviously, if you do that, they will be shipped at the same time as the other ones. So it'll take a lot longer. If you're okay with that, that's cool. If not, you can buy them right now from me or John or some other retailers that have them. So those two books are existing. So if you want them sooner, basically, you can do that, which is always a good idea because you can have to start playing with
Yep.
them and then realize what you might need for the next ones, like that'll inspire you to make your plinth. I kind of want to do like a little plinth competition or something, but I've got this weird, like, um, not hatred of competitions, but it's a bit like what they say about like this generation being soft or something. That's me. I'm like, oh, I don't like people pitting it. I just want people to do the thing. I don't want there to be a winner. Do you know what I mean? Or it's like I want the motivation just to be to do it and
Yep.
have fun rather than go, well, I think this one's the best. just
I don't.
just want
I don't think
everyone
that's
to have a
generational.
prize.
I think that's for me that's related to my extreme reluctance to do what I'm told to do, and it's I just won't be told to do anything. And competitions are a bit like that. It's like we'll all do this. I'm sort of it's an imaginary red coat involved. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone's got to have this kind of fun. And are you having the right kind of fun? And I don't like it. I don't like that sort of competition. And I'm ancient, so I don't think it's generational.
Okay.
It's more sort of defiance aspects of neurodiversity, I think is what it is.
Yay!
Yay,
But
you
yeah,
can't
something
make me.
challenge, maybe a challenge rather than a competition or
Yeah,
something. Just like yeah,
let's
just
all
like
do backdrops.
everyone make plinths, and we'll all look at each other's plinths and go, "That's
Yeah,
cool."
we do
And
a
like,
theme or pick a backdrop for a week.
hmm,
This page, whatever. There's no page numbers in the book, but this backdrop, what can you do with it or something? That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
I think
We'll all
it'd be
just do stuff.
nice. Because I haven't
Be
made a
nice.
plinth. I'd quite like to make a plinth. No, I haven't, have I?
Yeah.
I don't know why
You can
I'm
get
just looking at the
a
guide.
PDF guide. There's a free PDF guide on my website of how to one wrong way to make one. Everyone's been very
I'm
kind.
not.
Nobody's corrected me on my methods, but there's a lot of different ways to make them.
Katie is absolutely correct. It is the neuro
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
pathological
yeah,
demand avoidance. That's it. Yeah. Now I'm
yeah.
being
It
told to
is.
do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I could have
Yeah.
done it. Could have done it. Yeah, yeah.
Alright. So yeah, the campaign is only on till Tuesday 5 p.m. If you're
Tomorrow.
watching this
Yeah,
late on the replay, it might have already finished.
yeah.
And now you feel embarrassed, maybe. I'm sure if you message John. No, actually, I won't talk about it. You saw late plinths. But you need to make sure if you're a backer, make sure that before 5 p.m. your pledge reflects all of the
Yeah.
things that you would like. because there is no shop afterwards to do that. It's just there. They will be out afterwards, but they'll be more expensive. So it's definitely in your interest to do that. If you have any questions about it, just message John or put it in the comments. And anytime I see any sort of slightly hard question, I just think, I'll leave that one to John. I just like the ones where
John will get
I'm
them.
in the comments going, thanks for backing. But what about that? I don't know, John will answer that one. Um, so yeah, check that's as you would like. The latest update on the Kickstarter, John's actually put a step by step on how you can do that. If you see them out in the wild, any of the posts that I've made, if you give them a little bump, because I'll be on the last bit of promo, a little bit tonight, and then I'm going back to bed. But tomorrow I'll be on it, spamming everywhere. But a lot of the time you kind of do spam into the void. So if you see any of it, just go whoopee or can't wait to get mine, and that actually does really help, especially forums. I've been shouting into the void on Lead Adventure. I did complain to Nick. So Nick North Star owns Lead Adventure. And I said, but I can only post it in this little dusty corner that nobody goes in because they've got a section called photographing miniatures, and it's kind of my thread, and then 3 years ago is the next thread or something. So going, oh, everyone will see this. So yeah, anything like that, just keep going. Woohoo! These look great. And then after 5 o'clock tomorrow, that'll be it. And I'll go, right, I'm
That's it.
done. No, I don't care about backdrops anymore. No, I won't really. It's my birthday on Friday, and I was even thinking about having like a day off because I've been absolutely non-stop. So I will have like, maybe a day where I don't photograph backdrops, or hang up grid wall or anything. But no, I'm looking forward to getting even more of them and taking lots more pictures because there's so much. And I like that the more books there are, the less likely it is that you'll like awkwardly at a party bump into someone who's used the same backdrop as you. You're like, oh, they've used hill number 4. Oops. You're like, well, I've got the brand new backdrop, so I've actually got hill 72. The one where John's cry for help is etched into the back hill. So, have you got any parting words or anything, John?
No, you should
No?
take Friday off. I think take Friday off for your
The
birthday.
actual
That's I'm just
day,
gonna
the day.
tell you how to live your life. Yeah, go on. It'll be all right.
Be,
Be all
be
right.
wild. What would I do though? Where would I go? What would I do?
Yeah. No, it's been great actually. It's been nice to come on this, whatever this is, whatever you kids call this kind of thing. No, it's been great. It's been really good. And it's nice to chat about backdrops, isn't it?
Yay!
Yeah, good.
And
It's
yeah,
been
thanks
brilliant. It's been
Andy for
such a great
teaching me how
campaign.
to do the thing. And yeah, thanks for
Ah,
you all backing. That's it. Now I'm gonna try and gracefully end the stream. We'll
there's
see.
no chance of that.
There's also this cool bit, which John won't be able to see. Let me just see, because I can just mess about with it now, can't I? Mess about with it. Oh no, I didn't. Oh yeah, I could do this. Wait, check that out. John will see this afterwards. You won't.
Yeah, and a massive
But they can
delay. I
see
might
it.
get
They
it.
can see it going like, wait. Um. Oh yeah. Also, other people can't see it yet. I've just forgot about that as well. It's just me. It's just me pressing the
just
thing. I'm just
having a
pressing it,
lovely
going,
time.
"Whey!" In fact, I'll leave it on because that will go to that before it all ends. But yep. So that was John Hodgson.
Oh, wait.
That's
That's me
that's the
going.
guy. That's the guy. And go looking thing and follow him on all the socials. Give this the old thumb up and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. And I'm going to attempt to gracefully end